Der Frauenfußball galt zeitweilig als moralisch verwerflich und in vielen Ländern kämpft er noch immer um gesellschaftliche Anerkennung. Ein frauengemeinnütziger Verein, Gastgeberin Fußball, kämpft nicht nur für eine Bühne für Frauen im Fußball, sondern sie engagieren sich für Gleichberechtigung, Emanzipation und Frauenrechte weltweit. Dabei setzen sie Fußball gezielt als Empowerment-Strategien ein. In unserer heutigen Sendung werde ich über Frauen in Fußball mit den Gastgeberin Fußball Verein sprechen, die besondere Begegnungen zwischen Frauen zu ermöglichen, die sich nie getroffen hatten. Herzlich willkommen zu Nyimas Bantaba. Mein Name ist Nyima Jadama. Women's football, according to FIFA, is the single biggest growth opportunity in football today, and it remains a top priority. Although the game has grown exponentially at all levels, the passion and rising popularity of the sport offers vast untapped potential. However, FIFA is actually investing in dedicated funding, human resources, and innovative tailor-made development programs to bring women's football into the mainstream where it actually belongs. Nonetheless, women-led football organizations and NGOs like the Gastgeberin Fußball Germany are also playing their part in connecting and encouraging women worldwide to play football and to develop their sporting achievements away from patriarchal hierarchies through football festivals and capacity buildings. It is my pleasure and, of course, to talk about women in football in our today's edition of the Nyimas Bantaba, together with three fascinating women from three continents, namely Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Welcome to Nyimas Bantaba, ladies and, of course, viewers. My name is Nyima Jadama. Stay tuned and learn with me together about the fascinating stories and journey of these women into the game of football. With me in the studio, I have Esther Franke, a member of the Gastgeberin Football Germany, also responsible for the Iraki Projekt. Also joining us via Zoom is Aisha Veronic Malack, Assistant Women Football Coordinator with the Gambia Football Federation, joining us live from sunny Gambia, because I know right now it's very hot there. And also joining us is Rima Yacoub, Director of Jordan Programs, Reclaim Childhood. Well, as usual, Nyimas Bantaba is in two languages. So today we will be doing both German and English. In case you haven't followed us, please do that now by joining us, following us on Instagram on Nyimas Bantaba TV, Facebook on Nyimas Bantaba, or send us an email on nyimasbantaba@gmail.com. That's if you want to be part of the show or have questions or whatever. And my first question to Esther. Wie geht's dir?
Sehr gut, vielen Dank für die Einladung. Es ist schön, hier mit dir zu sein und mit Rima und Veronique. Ist toll, vielen Dank.
Danke, dass du auch hier dabei bist. Ich freue mich auch, dich zu begrüßen dürfen. Und meine erste Frage ist, der DFC, das ist der Gastgeberin Fußball, ist der erste Frauenfußballverein in Kreuzberg, Berlin, mit dem Ziel, Frauen zum Fußballspielen zu ermutigen und ihre sportlichen Leistungen abseits von patriarchalen Hierarchien zu entwickeln, wie ich in meiner Moderation gesagt. Wie ist die Idee entstanden und wann wurde er gegründet?
Genau, also kurz zur Erklärung. Es gibt Gastgeberin Football, die NGO sozusagen, und dann den Gastgeberin Football Club, DFC, in Kreuzberg. Und die Idee mit Gastgeberin Football ist entstanden, als 2009 einige Frauen aus einem Berliner Fußballteam in den Iran gereist sind, um dort ein Fußballspiel gegen das Nationalteam dort zu machen. Was natürlich herausfordernd war und vor allem dann herausfordernd, als sie das Team einladen wollten für ein Rückspiel und dann dem Team alle möglichen Steine in den Weg gelegt wurden und sie nicht zurückreisen konnten zum Rückspiel. Und dann haben die Frauen in Berlin auch im Austausch überlegt, das ist ja interessant, dass das so kompliziert ist scheinbar. Lass uns mal weiter herausfinden und schauen, wie die Möglichkeiten oder Unmöglichkeiten für Frauen weltweit sind, Fußball zu spielen. Deswegen auch Discover Football, also Discover herausfinden, wie Frauen weltweit Fußball spielen. Und darauf aufbauend sind dann diese verschiedenen Formate, Projekte entstanden, die wir auch heute noch machen, vor allem das große Festival. Und aber damit es eben nicht nur international ist, weil das ist für uns ganz wichtig auch zu zeigen, dass es auch in Deutschland nach wie vor Schwierigkeiten gibt für Frauen und auch Queers im Fußball, war es wichtig für uns zu sagen, wir machen auf jeden Fall auch lokal was und haben dann den Discover Football Club in Kreuzberg hier in Berlin gegründet, um eben weitere Möglichkeiten für Frauen auch in Deutschland und hier lokal in Berlin zu schaffen, Fußball zu spielen und es aber eben auch einzuordnen in gesellschaftliche Strukturen allgemein.
Ja, also apropos, weil also was ich von dir gelernt habe, ist Inclusion, Frauen weltweit, nicht nur, also eigentlich sagen wir für Frauen, aber sondern auch für queer oder whatever. Und meine nächste Frage ist, also das Verein begegnet sich gegen Sexismus, Rassismus, Homophobie und der Formen, also wie du gesagt hast, der Diskriminierung in Fußball und in anderen sportlichen und außersportlichen Bereichen ersetzen will. Wie wird diese Idee in einer patriarchalen Gesellschaft weitergegeben?
Durch die Leute, die mit uns zusammenarbeiten, mit denen wir heute sprechen. Nein, also genau, es geht ja darum, Gespräche zu ermöglichen, Begegnungen zu ermöglichen und gegenseitig zu sehen, ich bin nicht alleine mit den Herausforderungen, die ich habe im Fußball oder im Sport. Und genau, für uns ist es total wichtig zu sagen, es geht nicht nur um Sexismus natürlich, wir arbeiten und denken und analysieren intersektional, also gerade auch in Deutschland. Natürlich müssen wir auf Rassismus schauen, auf andere Diskriminierungs- und Unterdrückungsformen, die natürlich Frauen im Fußball auch beeinträchtigen oder dazu führen, dass viele Frauen und Mädchen nicht Fußball spielen können. Wie das weitergetragen wird, genau, also wir sind ein kleiner Teil natürlich und versuchen ein großes Netzwerk aufzubauen, sowohl in Berlin, wir haben hier verschiedene Partnerorganisationen, PartnerInnen, mit denen wir zusammenarbeiten und natürlich international, denn es ist ganz wichtig für uns, dass wir natürlich nicht sagen, wir kommen jetzt aus Deutschland und erklären jetzt die Welt, sondern es geht für uns darum, Netzwerke aufzubauen und gemeinsam, wie du auch gesagt hast, gemeinsam zu lernen und uns gemeinsam gegen diese Strukturen einzusetzen und zu schauen, wie wir uns zusammen stärken können.
Und hoffentlich gemeinsam schaffen wir was für Frauen. Ihr habt schon wirklich viel geschafft, aber ich freue mich auf, was in der Zukunft passiert. Danke. To Aisha Veronic, so for Aisha and Rima, for your interest, I've actually asked 2 questions in regards to how did the whole Discover Fußball and also the club actually started. I mean, like I said in my moderation, is actually more of patriarchal, breaking the barriers in patriarchal hierarchies through football festivals and capacity buildings. And she talked to us about how the NGO actually started, which I'm sure you all know because you're part of the team. And, it's more of having inclusion, bridging barriers, including every woman, whether you are, how do you call it, homosexual, bisexual, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody is actually included, which I found really interesting. And to Aisha in the Gambia. So the Gambia, for the first time, actually took part in the Discover Football Festival. That's where I get to meet you, get to know about Discover Football as well. And I'm really interested to know, how did the Gambia become a part of this festival and why? What was the motive?
Thank you very much. A colleague and a sister in Germany, and also to say hi to Esther and my colleague, Rima. Thank you very much for having me here. First of all, it's a wonderful journey. It was amazing to have the Gambian team participate for the first time in Discover Football in Germany, Berlin. It was the pleasure and privilege of one of the greatest German women called Monika Starr who was in the Gambia for 2 years for the Gambian German project and working with us with those experience in the Gambia Football Federation. I was lucky to have the link and the information about Discover Football. Again, when I took the link, I read from the link I read in the Facebook, I saw that Discover is organizing a program which is advocating for women working for football and also calling for referees and clubs to join and play a mixed football tournament. I said it is amazing. So that's how we get to the link and we were able to communicate to Aline, who was very, very, very soft and encouraging. That's why it was great for Gambia to participate first time in the Discover Football. And why we participated, because we are working for football and our interest is to develop the game and promote women's football in all angles. So seeing the Gambia participating first time in an international tournament like Discover Festival, it's not only to play football, but as well also administrators, referees are going to showcase their talents, and we're going to learn from different kind of workshops. I said it is amazing. And for the Gambia, why? It's because we see football is different here. Why? Because women are less privileged, we are not considered much, we are not paid, and many of them play football without giving something back to their families. So we have regional reps working in down regions like Basse Soma, and they are not recognized. Society don't accept them because they see the game is for men, not women. So I thought it's wise to use a team that is there are women working for football and they're not paid. At least that would encourage their parents and their communities to see their daughters play or participate in the first time in Discover Football. So it went on. We did the selection in the 5 regions in the Gambia. Finally, they are all people working for football, whom they want to play football, and the Women Football Association members. We have a team called the Queen Scorpions. That is why we participated in the Discover Football.
Wow, super interesting. She just answered everything sharply and even answered some of my prospect questions that I was going to ask. That was really amazing. And, you said something that actually really struck me, and that is like women that are playing football without being paid. Like what's going on? And, society don't accept them. Obviously, that's follow-up questions I would ask. But then, to my next question to you, Aisha, Discover Football has actually strengthened its international network of women's football teams, projects, and activities to its partners across the globe, and this include the Gambia. What project or activities have the Gambia team benefited from this partnership?
Quite a lot, because initially I said it is a golden opportunity. When we travel down to Discover for the first time, we learn a lot of cultural barriers, because the Gambia, how we adopt ourselves, how we live is different from how we see ourselves in Germany. And the interaction between meeting different people playing in a mixed football, that was amazing, because you learn from different people. One of the games I played with Rima, that was the first time I met her in the field. We played for the Bull Circus. Can you remember, Rima? And it was unique because you learning from different people, and it's not only about winning, but it's the interaction of connection that will bring people together. And football is for all. Football got the power to unite and bring people together. Also in the workshops, the most amazing thing I learned with my team was the different kind of workshops conducted during Discover Football. Rima herself conducted one, I myself and other colleagues whom they are outside from the countries that came to discover their Germans, and hygiene factors like menstruation. It was a wonderful one. Why? Because we are dealing with women and girls, and it is important for us working for football to be knowledgeable about menstruation and hygiene. How to keep ourselves clean is very, very important. Also, how to protect the girls and show them different kind of menstrual tools to use. Because you play football and a girl just got pain, menstrual pain, you don't know how to tackle it. Some coaches deal with girls, they don't know. She's on menstrual cycle pain or she got trauma. So they'll be forcing you to play. But if you know the knowledge and the science to understand that this girl is going through pain, she cannot play football in this moment, you will know which kind of procedures to use to avoid conflict. And again, I myself did host a training program from the Gambia to expose the other side, what is happening in Gambia, talking about gender mutilation, because mutilation here, you may understand, because we are from the Gambia, Jadama, but others in the different part of the world don't understand it. For the first time when I did my presentation, showing the genital mutilation, how the clitoris is cut from the women's side, it was difficult, and some people it is for tears because why? They see people using tools like scissors, razors, knife, to cut the clitoris of a woman or a girl child. That is difficult because there are more challenges affecting the girl child or the woman. If the woman is pregnant to deliver a baby, she may go through pains or operations, which we are not advocating for. Many lose their lives and lose blood, which will cause pain. Or some even cannot enjoy what they're doing, like if you have a husband and the husband don't even feel that this is a woman, it's difficult. It's all caused by the signs lead to our great parents or our grandparents introducing young girls to mutilation. So that was the project that I came with the idea from the Gambia to also go to discover, at least explore. And many people benefited as well, like I benefited from many other projects aside from playing mixed football.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much. It's actually very, very interesting to learn that, at first when I heard of Discover Football Festival, I thought it was football festival. You guys are just playing football. And I went there and I saw this really interesting workshops that you also hear mention, different workshops, learning from different cultures, from different backgrounds and so on, which I think is quite really interesting. Thank you very much, Aisha, for that. And to Rima in Jordan. So Discover Football is one of the world's leading organizations that actually uses football as a tool to advocate for a world in which girls and women can do sports without being discriminated against for any reason. How discriminatory is actually football for women and girls in Jordan?
Thank you for having me today, and it's great to see all of you again. So when I always say when we look at Jordan, it's as if we're looking at different countries within the same country. So we have some open communities where things are more common for you to see, but the majority of the country is more conservative, So our communities are really conservative. So not only when you look at football, when you look at sports in general, sports are they see them as if they're for boys, and when you look at football in specific, it's a male-dominated sport. So there is discrimination against women who play sports in general, and there is discrimination specifically against women and girls that try to practice football.
So, apropos discrimination, how actually is football impacting empowerment for women and gender equality in general?
So the fact that you're a woman or you're a little girl who managed to actually get to practice this kind of sport, you feel really strong. You manage to explore the strength inside of you. You realize that there are so many opportunities that you can access through sport in general and through football in specific. The fact that you can step down and say, well, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I want to really progress at. It develops self-confidence. It promotes a healthy lifestyle. It also promotes discipline, perseverance, all the culture of commitment to something that you love and something that you can do. It opens a lot of opportunities also for the girls. Some of our girls at Reclaim Childhood who had been doing football for a long period of time actually managed to get opportunities to be part of Jordanian teams, and they are now getting into practices. They got the opportunity to play with the national team as well. So it promotes a healthy lifestyle. It promotes equality. It tells you that the fact that you're a girl does not mean you cannot do everything that a boy can do. No, on the contrary, you can do absolutely everything, and you can open all the opportunities in the world for you.
Actually, even better. I mean, the generous saying, if you empower a woman or a girl child, you've actually empowered the whole world. So I think we do much more better than boys.
Absolutely.
There is a lot.
And we always say that so we are half the community, but we raise the second half as well. So we are the entire community.
We are actually the community. So there is actually a lot more to this discussion. Esther, apropos Gleichberechtigung, Diskriminierung für Frauen und Mädchen, das wäre meine nächste Frage. Und zwar die Verwirklichung von Gleichberechtigung ist in der Regel eine große Herausforderung. Wie setzen Discover Fußball seine Fachweise weltweit ein, um die Welt zu einem gleichberechtigten Ort zu machen?
Große Frage. Ja, das ist klar, dass sozusagen das Zentrum unserer Arbeit oder was wir von den beiden jetzt ja auch gehört haben, eben mit den Partnerinnen zusammen. Ich glaube, am Anfang geht es darum, auch allen, die mit uns zusammenarbeiten oder auch unserem Team, ne, zu zeigen, dass es gibt mehr Möglichkeiten. Man muss sich nicht mit dem zufrieden geben, was man kriegt eben in der patriarchalen Gesellschaft und wo einem gesagt wird, hey, sei dankbar dafür, was es schon gibt, was schon erreicht wurde, sondern zu sagen, nee, wir wollen mehr, wir wollen Gleichberechtigung. Klar, da geht es dann immer um das Gleiche zu haben. Weiß nicht, kann man ja gucken, man kann ja auch sagen, wir wollen was anderes oder wir wollen mehr. So, also, dass es wirklich darum geht, gemeinsam zu sagen, wir müssen uns nicht mit dem zufrieden geben und das ist hier im Fußball eben zu sagen, wir können auch in Ligen spielen, wir können auch gutes Equipment haben, wir können, wie du gerade schon angesprochen hast, auch für die Arbeit, die ja auch Fußball oder Sport ist, bezahlt werden. Das kann ein Job sein, dafür können wir uns einsetzen. Das heißt aber auch natürlich, wir müssen frei von Diskriminierung sein, wir müssen uns einsetzen gegen Gewalt gegen Frauen, gegen ökonomische Ausbeutung und so weiter. Das hängt dann alles natürlich zusammen und da zu schauen gemeinsam, wie alles zusammenhängt und wie wir über Fußball da genau reingucken können. Und was die beiden schon gesagt haben, Fußball dadurch, dass es ein Sport ist, das funktioniert über Körper. Frauenkörper werden überall auf der Welt fremdbestimmt in vielen Bereichen. Und das ist eben ein guter Zugang zu sagen, wir gucken uns damit an, wo überall Gleichberechtigung noch nicht erreicht ist, wo überall Diskriminierung ist, aber eben auch wiederum, wie die beiden gesagt haben, zu zeigen, es macht total viel Spaß, Fußball zu spielen, körperlich tätig zu sein, im Team tätig zu sein, zusammen sich über diesen Sport zu treffen auf dem Feld, aber auch daneben und da eben zu sehen, hey, wir können voll viel zusammen erreichen und zusammen machen. So, glaube ich, versuchen wir das. Und dann natürlich noch mit ganz vielen anderen Projekten, Workshops und so weiter. Genau.
Together we can do a lot more as the closes. So my question was more of a follow-up from Rima's response in regards to discrimination and gender equality. I mean, I also asked her about that. How actually is the their NGO actually doing to make sure that gender equality is actually intact, or women have access to this? And she talked about, the various projects that they are doing, not just playing football on the field, but as well, empowering them by telling them about their rights, making sure that they're all happy and in peace together, by developing projects in different countries across the continent, by empowering women, giving them more rights, I don't want to repeat myself, but in short, this is what she was talking about. It actually all led to empowerment. It all led to gender equality. Like she said, she quoted from Aisha's statement that women play football without being paid. So these are some of the things that they do activism for, to make sure that, you not just play football, but you have to earn for it as well, because it's a profession and it must be paid. Thank you for that, Esther. And to my next question to you, Aisha Veronic. So this is a question that you have partly touched on from your first response, and that is, you are actually from a religious or a Muslim-dominant country with traditional rules imposed on women. How is football for women in the Gambia perceived? I know you talked about, I don't like this idea of women are just women. Football is a male-dominant thing or profession for women. How is football actually perceived in general for women, Aisha, in a country like the Gambia?
Yes, in the Gambia, the country I come from, we came from, I and you, it's like everything is for boys and men, majority, because they're the dominant. And if there's an opportunity for women to explore and boys need it at the same time, the first idea is to give it to men before giving it to girls. And we working for football suffer a lot on that area because we want it to be at par, even though these are young girls or they are women, but it's difficult always. Everything is for men. And for my belief is what a man can do, women can do better. Mm-hmm. So why not we give the equal chance to everyone? Then we can see the proof from all the angles. Mm-hmm. But that is the different case. In the Gambia, like you said, we are majority are Muslims, even some Christians, but the perception of parents and the cultural backgrounds, what they think is football is for boys and men, not for girls and women. Women are expected to be in the household, do the domestic job, cook, launder, iron. Those are the things we are expected to do. But the world changed, and also what we do is to advocate more for us to understand that this is the game and it's a profession like any other profession because you'll be get paid. Like if you play international, that one you are a different person. What someone can work in the office in the Gambia, like paid a salary, you can multiple or times that 10 times if you play good football and if you are a good star. So that is the message we try to advocate for everyone to understand. Women should be given chance, but here, no, women should not play football. And now the number is increasing. Why? Because of the massive campaign we do.
Yeah, but that brings me to a follow-up question. Is it because that this perspective that women is a football is actually a male-dominated field? This is why women are not participating, or is it the awareness that their parents, for example, don't know? Like you said, in Gambia, I really don't know that women are this much engaged in football. When I saw you guys, I was like, aha, the country is changing. People are listening. The perspectives are listening. So I was wondering, that means the patriarchy level or people are listening to women?
Yes.
Or are you guys just doing it for fun too? So you know what? It's a passion. Like me, the job I am doing here, Alex is not paying me. But because I am a media person, I want to do it. I still do it. Is it because of that or people are listening to you?
Now, I can say both. It's because before people listen to you, it's the passion you got to play football. So first is the passion in you. Whether you are paid or not, you still want to purchase it because it's what you want to do.
Welcome to my world.
If you look at it in normal sense, yes. But again, people have to recognize this is a job and it's a difficult job because you got injuries, you got bad pains. So that alone, you also compensate it with something, especially club owners. So that's the reason why we use people like you, the journalists. They are our friends. You know why I call them my best friends? Mm-hmm. Because they extend the message where we want it to get to.
I'm also your best friend now, okay? I'm your European journalist best friend.
From Banjul to Koina, every girl parent or the schools, the right person, the parents and the guardians now are aware of women's football existence. And that is how we increase the number of girls' participation in the Gambia. Mm-hmm. So it's both, because some thought that it's a just person, I should just play, even I'm not paid. But we passed that level now because we are in the 21st century. Mm-hmm. Things must be at par. You work it, you should be paid for that work.
Interesting. If you're working, you should be paid for that work. Esther, we should launch a campaign that they should be paid, we should be paid. Anyway, Rima.
We should do it together, yeah.
Sure, I'm always ready for campaigns. Rima, Jordan is also another Muslim-dominant country, and I'm interested to know, how is football perceived for women in Jordan's world? Let me hear from this other perspective.
Yeah, so it's a combination of religion and tradition, honestly, to be completely honest. Mm-hmm. So because we work in the most conservative communities, so there is a huge challenge for people who understand religion correctly. They would know that religion also supports sports for women. But it's unfortunate because when you combine tradition, conventions also with religion, there tend to be restrictions on the most vulnerable. And when we talk about the most vulnerable women, unfortunately, we're the most affected. So the communities in which we work are affected by these two factors. But in addition to that, they are also affected by the refugee crisis. Because again, when we look at Jordan, it's not only Jordanian. We have like Jordanian, Palestinian, Iraqis, Syrian, Sudanese, Somali, Yemeni, so many nationalities that were affected by the flee, by the immigration and by the refugee crisis. So this crisis also imposes so much more restrictions. Families tend to become overprotective over their women and over their girls. So they do not really allow them to do things that can be frightening to them in all levels, in all senses. So there is a huge challenge when it comes to introducing sports, primarily soccer, football, to the more conservative communities. And this is something that we've been working on for the past years. You build the trust within the families. They know us. They know who we are. We recruit women from the same communities as coaches to be with the girls. They are the ones to coach the girls. They are the community facilitators. They are the ones that are always in contact with the parents. We provide the safe space for these girls where they can play sport and provide something that is really acceptable for the families, where there are no men while they're practicing football. We provide transportation for them so that, your girls are really safe with us. They are with these mentors, with these coaches, with these facilitators. They pick them up from their home. They put them in the safe field. They coach them and they bring them back home safe. So despite these restrictions imposed by the culture, the tradition and religion, or I would say as religion as it's perceived in more conservative communities, parents started trusting us and they started giving these girls the opportunities to practice their very basic right of playing. So we are one step closer day by day, and hopefully we will get there.
Like the former chancellor said, wir schaffen das, ihr schafft das. One step ahead, I just said the former chancellor, when the migration or the refugee crisis in 2015 came and she was using a slogan that went viral, we would make it. And they've really made a lot. And your one step forward would be 100 steps to achieving your goals. And, it's actually interesting to learn how tradition and religion, tradition and cultural perspective or beliefs are actually influencing religion, to how you call it, not discriminate, but not to really take football for women seriously. And I think it should be taken serious. We are women, we empower, we run the world, actually. Esther, Ihr Angebot konzentriert sich auf die Schaffung sinnvoller Partnerschaften und Initiativen, um die Stärkung der Rechte von Mädchen und Frauen zu gewährleisten, insbesondere in Fußball. Warum?
Weil die Welt komplex ist, weil, wie ich gerade schon gesagt habe, Fußball erstmal ein Supersport ist, der viel Spaß macht und eben ein guter Zugang ist zu verschiedenen Themen, die Frauen und Queers weltweit beschäftigen, mit denen sie sich beschäftigen müssen. Und diese sinnvollen Partnerschaften oder das Netzwerk, das ist unser Ansatz, weil wir uns in einem globalen System bewegen, in einem postkolonialen System, wo immer noch die Idee ist, dass gerade Menschen aus dem Westen irgendwo hingehen können und Leuten die Welt erklären können. Und wie Rima zum Beispiel gerade gesagt hat, es braucht ganz viel Wissen, um Angebote zu schaffen für Mädchen und Frauen im Fußball, aber natürlich auch in anderen Bereichen, die lokal super unterschiedlich sind. Und was wir versuchen, ist, dieses Netzwerk herzustellen, Frauen zusammenzubringen, um zu sehen, wie sie sich gegenseitig supporten können, wie wir supporten können, wie wir aber auch Support bekommen können, um dann in den ganz konkreten Kontexten eben diese Arbeit zu machen und Fußball zu ermöglichen für Mädchen und Frauen. Deswegen sind für uns diese Partnerschaften voll wichtig. Frauenfußball ist so ein bisschen ein Boomthema geworden, auch in den letzten Jahren. Viele haben das entdeckt für sich. Auch so, ne, es gibt immer schöne Bilder irgendwo, die Mädchen mit den Fußballen und so. Und für uns ist eben total wichtig zu sagen, nee, wir gehen nicht einfach nur irgendwo hin und gehen wieder weg, sondern wir versuchen zusammen eben dieses Netzwerk aufzubauen, um weltweit nachhaltig zusammenzuarbeiten und eben strukturelle Veränderungen gemeinsam zu schaffen.
So I asked about their offers in partnering with other projects or other organizations across the continent, like in Jordan and the Gambia. And, she talked about, because football is a super interesting sport, especially when it involves women. And the partnership is also to create more of a know-how on football, on the mechanisms and strategies they actually put in place to actually create more awareness about women football. And this partnership has also created a lot of interest by other countries across the world to, take football, women in football seriously by, structuring or restructuring, issues of forming football teams and so on, which I think is also interesting. And kudos to you, keep fighting. Aisha, again to you, in Gambia, due to patriarchy and other forms of violence against women in the Gambia, women are mostly perceived to be well-trained housewives than career or sports professionals. How is this patriarchal thoughts being tackled by women like you, heading a football division for women inclusion in sports? I mean, you work with the Gambia Football. You work with the Gambia Football Federation as football coordinator, and I am actually interested to know. Okay, the patriarchy is actually rooted in this country, and for us, we're just women. How can you build a career, professional career, more or less, talk less of football? So it's interesting for us to know how women like you are creating inclusion and involving more women.
Yes, thank you very much. That's amazing question. Because in the Gambia here, we all know majority are all supporting male football, and less concentration is given to women's football. What I do as my work, because my passion is football, I am a former national team player who played football nationwide, representing Gambia in FIFA World Cup. So though to do good work I did for the country, many people recognize me through football. So if I stand and speak or visit families to allow their girl child to play football, they easily give me because of my mentality or my personality. But again, we use you people as the media. We organize massive campaigns from Bandu to Basse, to all parents, guardians, school teachers, PE teachers, principals, so that they can give the girl child the opportunity to also showcase their talent. Because not every girl child is good at calculation. So whatever best the girl is good at and wants to be, we have to come up and give our support. So at the federation level, that is our number one priority. That's the president's statement, and that's what we are working for, to increase the number of girls and women participation in football. So we go to radio stations, TVs, organize symposiums on leadership programs, advocacy, talking to people about women's football development, and we use icons outside. For example, the likes of Monica staff to come and talk to people about football and the benefits of football. That will allow parents, guardians, and the girl child to even have more interest. Because if you're an international player, what you will gain, you can double it 10 times what you can have in the Gambia if you walk in here, for example. So that is our tool, that is our method of getting people and more women to football. That the game is for everyone, and it's a profession like any other professional, because it's not only playing football, but at the end of the day, there's life after football. So education goes with football. We also give materials and tools to students at schools. If you visit schools, we give them footballs, we give them learning materials, uniforms, pens, and pencils that will help them also, at least to limit costs from their parents. So that is give encouragement to girls. And if you want to have a great national team, you must start from the foundation, to lay a very strong foundation. That foundation is the small girls in the schools, because they are the future generation of the country. So that is partly what we do to make sure we encourage women's football. And we use people like you, the journalists, because you are our friends, to make sure the message is extended wherever we want it to get. If we sit down campaigning, talking every day, and nobody is hearing what we are saying, it's meaningless. So kudos to all the journalists out there who help women's football in various countries, in different parts of the world. Wherever you are, we are grateful, because this is what FIFA is doing. For example, in 2014, when the FIFA Leave Your Goal campaign was launched, it was a massive project for all countries, because the whole country was giving materials and fund was there for everyone to understand the message that the game is for everyone. What a man can do, women can do. So let's support girls in playing football.
Thank you so very much. You keep mentioning we use the media, your friend. You also keep watching us. Don't just watch things on football. So it's a win-win situation. Esther, so ist Nyimas Bantaba, sometimes it's fun as well. Ihr Arbeit wurde von der UNO, dem Deutschen Fußballbund und der ehemaligen Bundeskanzlerin Angela Merkel anerkannt. Was macht Discover Football einzigartigen?
Ja, ich glaube, genau das, was ich gerade schon gesagt habe, die Personen, mit denen wir zusammenarbeiten. Wir haben Glück, dass wir immer wieder Projektförderungen bekommen. Das ist auch nicht so leicht, als kleine NGO mit Projekten und Spenden und so weiter zu arbeiten. Wir haben gute Partner mit dem Auswärtigen Amt zum Beispiel und können die Arbeit fortsetzen. Arbeiten natürlich die ganze Zeit an unseren Formaten und Projekten, um die zu verbessern und wirklich diese Verbindung herzustellen und diese strukturellen Veränderungen gemeinsam zu erreichen. Beschäftigen uns natürlich auch selbst mit unseren eigenen Rassismen, unserer Position in der sozusagen globalen Ordnung und versuchen das die ganze Zeit zu reflektieren und eben immer wieder weiter zu überlegen, wie können wir genau diese Begegnung, wie hier zwischen euch, wunderbar, eine neue Freundschaft, freut mich total. Ja. Nein, genau, also diese Begegnungen schaffen, die dann eben ja wirklich was bringen so und ich glaube, was uns auch besonders macht, ist, dass wir ja als Kollektiv organisiert sind. Discover Football, ich darf vielleicht auch ganz kurz einen kleinen Werbeblock einstreuen. Wir suchen auch immer neue Ehrenamtliche. Die meisten von uns arbeiten ehrenamtlich, eben auch ja, mit Leidenschaft am Fußball. Und wir suchen immer neue Leute, die Lust haben mitzumachen, sind auch auf Spenden angewiesen und so weiter. Und ich glaube, das zeigt sich natürlich auch in unserer Arbeit, dass wir das ja irgendwie alle aus einer eigenen Geschichte auch machen mit Fußball, wo wir verschiedene Erfahrungen gemacht haben, selber auch festgestellt haben, dass es irgendwie auch in Deutschland nicht so leicht ist und dann eben ein Interesse daran, gemeinsam feministisch zu arbeiten, transnational.
Thanks. So I have, one thing that actually struck me going through the website of Discover Football is how special you guys are. They are by winning awards, and they've also most especially were recognized by United Nations and also the former German Chancellor Angela Merkel. So my question was, how special are they? Why special are they to have all this award, get these recognitions and so on? And to talk about how special they are. Especially, working with fascinating women like you across the world and always looking forward to working with more women and, of course, having the need to welcome new people to volunteer, making sure that the NGO is to another level and empower more women into sports and so on. Now, Rima, you were also part of the last year's football festival in Berlin. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet. But your country is part of the 4 continents that actually took part from Africa, America, Asia, and Europe, with 93 teams across the globe partnering with Discover Football. Tell us, how did Jordan actually get involved in such an international initiative, and how is this for you? How is it like?
So we always seek opportunities in country and outside the country in order to expand our knowledge, in order to better build the capacity of our coaches so that they help and serve our girls even better. So honestly, one of our coaches in Zarqa, Yasmin, she's originally from Gaza, but she's been living in Zarqa, Jordan her entire life. she actually kept pushing for us to apply, and she made sure that we do not miss the deadline. We applied, and we were super excited. We were supposed, 8 of us were supposed to make it to Discover Football Festival, but unfortunately only 5 of us made it due to visa problems, because we're not all like Jordanian. For Syrians, it was really hard to obtain the visa. For Iraqis, the same thing. So, but we made it at the end of the day, and it was the most fantastic experience for all of us, for all of the coaches, being exposed to all of the workshops, all of the new knowledge that we acquired that will definitely help us deliver something much better for the girls, being exposed to the different cultures, building friendships that I know will last forever, meeting all the sisters from all over the world, being part, like I used to say, I'm Team Gambia, and it was just amazing to be with all these strong women. When we came back, even now working throughout the past season, working with our girls, you can see everything that we've learned, that we've acquired throughout the festival. It was a fantastic opportunity, and getting into this opportunity after COVID hit, honestly, it was a game changer as well.
Apropos Covid, wie überlebt Ihre Organisation in dieser globalen Pandemie, Esther?
Ja, das ist natürlich eine große Herausforderung für alle, weltweit, für uns auch. Ich habe gerade schon gesagt, als kleine Organisation immer schwierig. Wir arbeiten alle ehrenamtlich, sind unterschiedlich von Covid betroffen. Zum Glück überleben wir, das ist schon mal gut. Unsere Projekte konnten weitergeführt werden. Wir machen natürlich auch vieles online und sehen aber natürlich, dass unsere Partnerinnen weltweit auf unterschiedliche Arten unter der Pandemie und vor allem dann auch, wie darauf reagiert wurde, natürlich leiden. Wir sehen überall, die Gewalt an Frauen nimmt zu, und natürlich, wo wir mit zu kämpfen haben, ist die ungleiche Verteilung der Impfstoffe weltweit. Ja, dass wir aufgrund der kapitalistischen Logiken, in denen wir uns bewegen, die Impfstoffe eben nicht so verfügbar sind für alle gleichermaßen, sodass wir beim letzten Festival im Sommer, wir waren froh, dass wir es durchführen konnten mit den Teilnehmerinnen, die dann da waren, aber selbstverständlich war das eine Herausforderung, da sich viele nicht so impfen lassen konnten, dass sie dann einreisen konnten. Aber ja, wir überleben, es geht immer weiter, auch unsere Partnerinnen, das ist wirklich super zu sehen, natürlich alle unter diesen Bedingungen arbeiten noch mal härter, haben noch mal mehr zu tun, aber es geht weiter, es geht immer weiter bis jetzt, das ist gut.
Es geht weiter, it goes and it's going. Hopefully, thank God they are still living despite the pandemic, as yet said. I've asked her, taking from Rima's the impact of COVID-19 in the activities of everyone, actually. So she also talked about like the challenges they are facing. Last year, most of you couldn't join because of lack of vaccination, lack of COVID restrictions and so on. But then she looked forward, the organization actually looks forward to more of organizing such things. And there's a lot coming and a lot is going on. And yeah, I look forward to a lot of all of this. Rima, actually, you're also director of programs by Reclaim Childhood. Tell us about Reclaim Childhood. What do you guys do? What is it all about?
So our mission is primarily to provide safe and inclusive spaces for local and refugee girls to practice their very basic right of playing sport. Working with our coaches and also building their leadership skills. So we are currently operating in Amman, the capital, and Zarqa, the second biggest governorate in Jordan. We always say we are a grassroots organization. We are working on ground. We have every season almost 250 girls who are participating in our programs. We teach different sports, but football is definitely one of the primary sports that we work on. Our girls, we invest that they are repeat girls, that they keep coming to each and every program. They start with us small and they grow up to become adults that are still part of our programs. They grow so much. They build their sports skills. They build their even social and life skills. Our age groups that we have on our programs are 6 through 18. So we have two age groups, 6 through 11 and 12 through 18. We also, for the older group of girls, we run a leadership program called Qudrati, which means my capabilities, where we work with the adolescents that are going through this critical age with all the restrictions, also like the additional restrictions from the community. We help them understand more what the self means, what the other means, what the circle of life is, how to draw boundaries, how to deal and care for the other, how to accept all the differences, because we work with 7 different nationalities, and they all come together in one place. They play and learn together. We've been operating for so many years now in these 2 governorates, and we are hopefully expanding to another location soon. So the dream is to just have more sports for all the girls in Jordan, regardless which community they are coming from. And who knows, maybe we will be we will expand to other countries once the situation in the area is better.
Yeah, you could also expand to Gambia. We have more more girls into football.
Would love to.
Anyway, how are all of these objectives actually impacting the lives of the girl child, especially refugee girls in Jordan and the neighboring countries you guys are working with?
So many of our girls are undergoing so many restrictions because their family tends to be overprotective. So the fact that we are providing this breather, this safe space where they even they are taken to the field safely. So this is giving them the space where they can express themselves, where they can play, and it's a very basic right for them. It is also impacting them psychologically, because they tend to play, meet friends, build relationships even with the coaches. It is helping them also in a way or another academically, because we know the link between sports and academic performance, because it increases their endorphins, it increases their focus. So it is also affecting them on this area. And the fact that they come from all the different nationalities, from all the different communities, they learn that differences are very important, because this is how we improve, this is how we grow together. So inside the big community of Jordan, we built our small community that has 250 girls that become so much close to one another, that they start learning from one another. They work also with the coaches. The coaches also worked so much on developing their skills. Not all of them have any athletic background, so we worked with them day in, day out in order to develop their sports skills, their psychosocial skills. They work with these girls, and although that what we provide is primarily sports, but at the same time, we try to connect and expand our network with all the different organizations that work in other specialties, in order to ensure the girls that we work with and their families have access to other services that they need. For example, due to the plea and the immigration and all of these things, many of the girls have undergone a crisis and psychological crisis. So we try to refer them to some psychosocial help or psychological help. For the ones that went under some torture throughout war, or their families underwent that, we also try to connect them to the center, for example, for victims of torture. So we try to build this community where we provide a specific service, but at the same time, just expand our community and our network, and just bring other organizations that work for the same causes, and just try to have them help us as well in our mission.
Thank you so very much. That's wonderful. So we have 4 minutes to go, and I have one question to each. Try to answer in a few seconds or in a minute. And Aisha, I am interested to know, how was the atmosphere in Berlin? First time in Germany, what personal experiences were you able to gather? And what has this impacted to your career?
It was unique, as I said earlier on. It's amazing to have myself and a team in Discover for the first time in Berlin. Yeah. because so many things have been learned through as a football administrator, which also increased my capacity and knowledge today as assistant women's football coordinator in the Gambia. First of all, the panel of discussions where we have Esther and others whose panels talk about leadership, because it's very key. We see women leading, but they don't understand. And we also see women who can lead, but they're not given the chance to lead in their various workplace. So those topics were very, very important during the panels in Discover Football. And I met also great people, the network from Serbia, from Jordan, from Spain, different people I met in football whom, they are role models. So that alone can help me a lot, including yourself. I met you to Discover Football. So that is unique. That's why today I'm here with the opportunity. Maybe tomorrow we'll meet somewhere different.
Inshallah.
So this is great. It's unique for women's football development as far as football is concerned.
Nice. And it was my pleasure to meet you and looking forward to meeting you again. Letzte Frage an Esther. Was plant ihr? Like, what's going on?
Ja, wir haben verschiedene Pläne. Wir wollen ein Projekt machen, wo Frauen in Europa neue Teams gründen. Und dann planen wir etwas in Südamerika und in 1,5 Jahren, also im nächsten Sommer, gibt es dann wieder das Festival in Berlin und es gibt weitere viele Projekte, deswegen folgt uns natürlich auch alle bei Social Media.
Und über dieses Iraki Projekt, was macht ihr in Irak?
Im Irak haben wir gezielt mit 15 Frauen zusammengearbeitet, um dort auch Strukturen für Fußball aufzubauen und hatten dort ein längeres Programm, was wir zum Glück auch online durchführen konnten gemeinsam. Und dort haben dann die Frauen Action Days durchgeführt vor Ort, um mehr Frauen und Mädchen zu erreichen und dort die Strukturen zu stärken.
Danke. And to my final question to you, Rima, maybe you answer in a few seconds. What recommendations would you give, especially at international level, to empower more women in football?
Big question, go.
You hear me?
Yeah, just tell the world about us, tell the world happening on the ground, and like show support always. You can show support in knowledge, not only in money, in knowledge, in advocacy, and in journalism. Just tell the world about us. Tell the world about what is happening on ground and how so many people are struggling, but there is light and there is opportunity. So support us always, and thank you, Discover Football, for this amazing opportunity for all of us women from all over the world. It was fantastic by all means.
Thank you. And Esther, was würdest du fordern?
Ich wollte nur sagen, große Frage, die du noch gestellt hast an Rima, aber
und?
wie hat's,
Hast du was da zu ergänzen?
Ach so, wir brauchen mehr Förderung, um unsere Arbeit mit allen zusammen weiterzuführen. Na klar. Und mehr Power alle zusammen.
Aisha, any recommendation in 30 seconds?
Yes, football is for all. So what they can do for football to develop as far as women is concerned, let them give the support. Like my colleague said, let's use all our social media platforms to advocate, to do everything to make sure football is developed, women's football.
Thank you so very much. Das war's von unserer heutigen Sendung. Wir haben über das Thema Frauen im Fußball gesprochen. Eine besondere Begegnung zwischen Frauen zu ermöglichen, die sich sonst nie getroffen hatte. Gesprochen. Bantaba ist ein traditioneller Treffpunkt, wo Leute zusammensetzen und sich unterhalten. Der Name Bantaba leitet sich von dem Wort für einen großen Baum ab. Der Begriff stammt aus Mandinka, meine Muttersprache, die wird meist in Gambia und Senegal gesprochen. Auf der Bantaba-Bühne beschäftigen wir uns mit verschiedenen Themen und diskutieren mit Leuten diversen kulturellen Hintergrund mit dem Fokus auf Migration, Frauen, Empowerment und Kultur. That was all we have for you on Nyimas Bantaba today. It was a great discussion with these 3 fascinating women talking about the game of football and of course their personal journeys. Until I come your way, my name is Nyima Jadama. Join us or follow us on social media on Nyimas Bantaba TV. It's a pleasure having you. Till next month. Ciao.